Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to get very Cleveland in this interview because joining us now is The Miz, A&E, continuing their amazing programming at WWE television this Sunday with WWE Legends. With The Miz airs this Sunday here in Las Vegas at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Miz, as we start, I need to clear up something that I see on the internet at least 4 times a year. Were you on Fear Factor, and did you stop a fight between a contestant and Joe Rogan? Yes or no?
Yes and yes. I actually won that Fear Factor, which was awesome, and it was a blast. And Joe was great. Something happened where I was like, oh no, Joe's going to kill this guy. And so I had to break it up because it got heated, and the guy was going to, thank goodness that nothing real, I feel like Joe could have really, really hurt this person. And that would have been bad. I imagine it would have been bad for Fear Factor. Right. So, yeah. But it created a great moment on reality TV.
It did. And now we don't have to see those tweets. Yes, it's confirmed. It was you. Thank you. Now let's get to the wrestling. I want to know who inducts you into the Hall of Fame.
My wife, Maurice, of course.
That was why did I not think of that while I was writing that down?
What an easy question. Yeah, what an easy.
Outside of filming some of the movies that you've done during your career, what's the longest you've been away from WWE?
Only movies. That's it. I haven't been injured for a prolonged amount of time. The only time I was injured, they actually used me. I tore my MCL and I just sat in a wheelchair and John Morrison just drove me around the ring. And it actually created really fun moments. The only time I've ever taken, I guess, time off was to do WWE Studios movies. And those were only 3 weeks off, I think. So for the past 20 years, I've been a mainstay on either Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown.
That's absolutely.
Or ECW if we're really going old school.
And I remember you went down the ramp speeding with the wheelchair. That was beautiful. Yeah. Amazing television. I do want to ask you, because obviously CM Punk has returned to the WWE. Before he joined, there was a rumor that he came to visit and he had an interaction with you where the rumor was that he apologized. Obviously, I don't need you to tell me what the specifics were, but was that true? Did that happen?
Yeah, it was in Chicago, and I was just walking down the stairs, and he was standing there, and we just locked eyes. And
what?
Remember, he left a long time ago and has never been back, right? And it always felt like it was just a never going to happen type of thing, right? And to see him backstage, I was like, what? And so we ended up having a really good conversation. And it was one of those moments where just two guys talking, and we kind of just buried the hatchet, I guess you could say.
And something that I enjoy, I talked about earlier with the Fear Factor video popping up 4 times a year. Another tweet that always happens at least 4 or 5 times a year is whenever you get into a match. I remember last year, whether it was Gunther at Survivor Series, you faced Seth Rollins on a Raw. You'll bring out a Hurricane Rana. We'll start calling you Miz Mysterio on Twitter. Does it pop you when people are like, oh, the Miz can actually wrestle? What's your reaction to seeing that?
It's fun for me, actually. Being a bad guy, it's interesting. So I always wanted people to hate me, right? I wanted people to despise me. If I did cool moves, guess what they're going to do? They're going to start saying, I don't like him, but man, he's got some cool moves. He's really good. I didn't want them to do that. And so now as a good guy, I try to bring out things. And honestly, my colleagues push me. There's so much talent in WWE now, and I've been there for 20 years, and I'm still being pushed. Whether it's our youth that are coming in there, or it's the veterans, but I'm always getting driven and more focused. And so sometimes I will pull out a Hurricane Rana. Sometimes I will pull out new moves, springboards. Things that people are like, wait, this isn't Ricochet. This is the Miz, but it's fun to hear. And the Mysterio is always makes me crack up.
Yeah, you and Chelsea Green and the Mysterio family. Who knew? Who honestly, who knew? And obviously, coming off of Money in the Bank, a lot of conversation has been about John Cena and his announcement that he's hanging it up at the end of next year. And it's interesting to me, like when you look at your career, the history that you have with John, because you can kind of the feuds that you've had with him have been at different points in your careers, and it's bookmarked. I remember when you came out for I think it was 7 straight weeks with the T-shirts, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. Then it leads to your main event at WrestleMania, and then even later on.
That did not lead to my main event. That led to a bash pay-per-view where he just mopped the floor with me within 3 minutes. And then a year later was the main event of WrestleMania. So yeah, carry on.
But if you could kind of walk me through like that evolution of that rivalry and the different dynamics, and obviously along the way you learning as your career went further and further.
Yeah, so when it first started, I got moved to Monday Night Raw. It was my first time being a singles. Like I was in a cool tag team with John Morrison. We did a show called The Dirt Sheet that was like a YouTube show before YouTube was even a thing. We had a YouTube show. And then we split off. I went to Raw, he went to SmackDown. And my first feud was with the poster child of WWE, John Cena. And he wasn't going to be there because either he was injured or doing a movie or something like that. But I would call him out every week. And for like 8 weeks, he would never show up. So I'd just be 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. So we went to the Bash pay-per-view. He mopped the floor with me in 3 minutes. I went back and I went, oh my God, all this work for nothing. Like I thought I was really doing something. I was really harnessing. And I didn't understand what was happening. And a producer at the time told me, he goes, you just haven't been through the wars yet. You need to go through the wars in order to have a competitive match with a talent like John Cena. And I didn't understand still. So, for an entire year, I was going through those wars, telling those stories and, winning championships. I won my first United States title, won the tag titles, won the Money in the Bank, and then won the WWE Championship against Randy Orton. Meanwhile, I'm still going and on live events and learning and wrestling John Cena, Randy Orton, and they're just blowing my mind at how much I didn't know, that I thought I knew. Like when you first walk into WWE, I know I'm ready to go. Yeah. I'm going to be the next big thing. I'm going to put butts in seats. People are going to pay to see me. I know how to tell a story. I know how to get the crowd where I want them to be in the ring. And you don't really realize there are levels to everything. There's the John Cena, Randy Orton level. And then there's like, my level of growing, trying to get to that level. And that led all the way to the main event of WrestleMania. And then not only that, the main event of WrestleMania, and then John actually beating me, and then me going in kind of a downward spiral of just losing every single match, not even thinking I was going to be. I went from main eventing WrestleMania to the next year not thinking I was going to be on WrestleMania. Like that's how big of a spiral that happened. And then me basically learning more and more and more, and then having another, tag match with me and my wife versus John and Nikki. And what a fun story that was. What a fun match that was. And everyone would thought that match was like just a blowover. And everyone ended up saying that was one of their favorite matches of the card. So John and I have had many, rivals and feuds. And, it came to kind of almost a 180, if you will, at WrestleMania, because the day after WrestleMania, I'm tagging with John Cena, one of my biggest rivals ever. I'm doing the "You Can't See Me." I'm hitting AAs and giving him hugs in the ring and celebrating with him. It was a full circle story, of a rivalry, and I felt like he taught me a lot, and I feel like as a student, I have become the teacher for our next generation, and hopefully I can do that. And I love the fact that John said, look, I'm going to retire, but I'm going to do a bunch of dates. So that gives an opportunity for our younger generations to actually be in the ring. Because I got taught this, but I can't teach what John teaches in the ring. I can only teach what I've absorbed and then what I can teach them in the ring. So I'm just very thankful that other talent will be able to get to feel what it's like to be in the ring with a John Cena.
No, it's incredible. Again, A&E this Sunday, WWE Legends focusing on The Miz and his career. This Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific. Before we get you out of here, we're going to do a quick speed round. You ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right, your promo at Barclays against John Cena, and at Roman Reigns. Your most underrated promo, in your opinion?
Yeah, it could be. Sure. I mean, I've had, to be honest, it's so hard to say, right?
Like, I got too many.
Yeah, I have a lot of promos that I look at, and most of the promos that you think are great, I think are terrible. Like the one with Daniel Bryan, that's probably my most infamous. When I got back and got out of that I was so angry. It was real anger that I've never felt that type of anger before. And I didn't know what to do with it. And it's scary. You know, I lost control of everything and I just started yelling and the veins were popping out of my head. And I look back at that and I don't like watching it because
I feel like I got too emotional and couldn't do the job.
I don't like the feeling that I had. I was so mad. I don't think anyone likes to be mad, right? You like to be happy or like just do my job. But that was a moment where I just let it all out because I was very frustrated that day. So the ones you're like, oh, that's probably your greatest promo. I was like, I don't know. Like, you'll say it is, but I don't like that I'm stuttering. I don't like the feeling that I'm feeling because it hits too much to home, right?
You once got Rey Mysterio booed at Money in the Bank 2011 when you came out after injury, hobbling.
Wow.
I honestly think it's like one of the only times Rey Mysterio really got booed, and in Chicago, Wrestling City, where he won the title at a WrestleMania before. Like, is that like a badge of honor in your career that you got Rey booed, man? Do you remember that?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I do remember that because I remember I got injured, right? I got taken off.
Knee.
Yeah, my knee. I got back. Everyone thought I was injured. And then me hobbling down, the crowd was going nuts again. And then Rey was the person that took me out, but it was cool. Thank you for reminding me that. That's cool.
You're welcome. More fun to come out as LA Knight or to come out as The Rock with the bald cap?
Ooh, man. Both of them were really fun, and both of them I didn't think were going to work. Whenever I get told like, hey, you're going to dress up like someone, I'm always like immediately no. No, I can't do this. This is not going to work. The crowd's just, I don't have a good enough impression. I'm not an impressionist. And then when I do it, I'm happy I did because of the reaction. So I'm going to say The Rock because it was my first time doing it. And it was, I never thought it would work. And
you had them for 10 seconds.
Dude, I'm telling you, when I walked out, they still didn't know. And I'm sitting, I took off my sunglasses and they popped. I had blue eyes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, how do you not know this is not The Rock? This is crazy to me. So that was like, it was just so crazy. And then also doing John Cena was always one of my fun ones too.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah. Total Bella's BS, we called it. And me and Maurice just had a field day with that. Oh my gosh. I see sometimes, people putting those up on like Instagram and TikTok, and I'm crying laughing at some of the stuff that we did and got away with, I guess you can say.
No, it's absolutely incredible. Listen, people, you're going to need to watch this. This story, this journey this man's been on has been incredible. As a Clevelander, salute to you. You make the city proud.
Thank you.
We will see you Cleveland Brown Stadium at SummerSlam. But before then, again, WWE Legends on A&E this Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific. WWE Legends, The Miz. The Miz, it's an honor. Thank you for the time, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.